We muted. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, y'all. So just so y'all know, I'm live in a few different places. So don't think you're in here by yourself because you're not. I see it's a bunch of people online, whether you're on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. So what I need y'all to do, if you are here, say something in the chat so that I can know because it's not telling me who's where. But I see it's some people popping in. So say what's up in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I see YouTube. Anybody from Facebook, IG. I'm trying IG for the first time. I haven't done that before. But if you're in here on IG, say what's up also so that I can see what's going on while I get this together. And hopefully y'all can hear me. Technical difficulties be happening all the time. It happens. So I just want to make sure we're good. So let me see. I got all my little devices binging and dinging and stuff like that. But if you're in here, say what's up in the chat. Say what's up. I wish I could connect TikTok on here, but haven't figured that out yet. But what's up to y'all? So if you all are in whatever social media, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram or YouTube, don't think that you're in a room by yourself. I promise you're not. It's a bunch of people. It looks like we getting up to, I think it's 20 now, 20, something like that. But we keep growing. So come on in. You're not by yourself. So I know how it can be awkward. You walking into the room and all you see is the janitor or the security guard. Like, fret not. You're not alone. Okay. So say what's up. I see Miss Hollins in the chat. I see Nathiano in the chat. Who else? Okay. And a few people on YouTube, a few names I can't pronounce. It looks like Mohammed, Kafera, Teddy Bear 79. So what's up, y'all? So yeah, come on in the room. Come on in. Keep coming. Remind you, you are not by yourself. You're not by yourself, no matter what app you're on. I promise we in here together, so you could bounce around. I'm at Nia Land Music on all the things, on Instagram, on Facebook, and all of that. So I'm going to jump right in because I'm simultaneously doing this live stream, but this is also going to be an episode of my podcast. So we in this together, and I don't want to hold y'all, and I'm hungry and I'm sleepy. So we're going to do the things, but make sure you're talking to me in the chat because that's the only way I know that something's going on. And I appreciate it. That's why we live, to do this thing together. So good evening to everybody. If you know me, if you don't, I am Nia Land, music artist. I'm assuming most of y'all are here because you do know who I am. So, hey, what's up? So this is also my podcast, which is the Creative and Process podcast. I haven't been doing episodes as much because it's a lot of work. Those that do it know what's up. But I wanted to come in and do this special episode to kind of talk to y'all a little bit about some stuff because I've been on like a bit of a social media break in general. I haven't been saying much or doing much, but I wanted to come in because if you've been on any of my posts this week, I've been sharing recaps and highlights from my festival, the Dream Loud Day Festival that I put on last month for the first time I ever done anything like that, and did it in Chicago. So if you were there, say something in the chat. Let me know that you were in the building there. And yeah. So if y'all let me know if you all can see me and hear me. So it's a little vibey in here. But so dark is okay, but just let me know if you can't see none at all, or turn the brightness up on your screen because it might be that too. Turn up your hue and your contrast. Okay. Y'all can't see me at all. I don't have my lighting team here today, so I don't want to pull the camera too close and then it looks like I don't have clothes on because I do. I'm just hot and I can't turn the air on because y'all gonna hear that. But let's see. If it's still too dark, let me know. I'm looking on my phone. It don't look that bad to me. And I turned my brightness up so I can see good. So I don't know. Y'all tell me if it looks terrible. I have to cut on some more lights, but that's going to mess up the vibe. But from what I'm looking at, I can see. So y'all let me know if I'm tripping or not. Okay, you can see me. Somebody on YouTube says they see me. Okay, cool. All right, so like I was saying, I did the Dream Loud Day Festival, and I'm wondering, can I share like some clips here while I'm talking, or if that's gonna like mess it up. We're gonna see if I can get something in here to show you all. For those that are not familiar, let me see if I can get some clips up here to share with y'all. Bear with me because I haven't done this in a long time, and my setup has a bit of it has some updates on it. So let's see. Let me see if I can get this clip up here and it be it can go in the background. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Don't leave. And once again, you're not in the room by yourself. It's a bunch of people from a lot of different platforms. So let's see if we can get real. Okay, let's try this one. Hopefully it might have audio. Let me see. Okay, I can mute it. So yeah, I should be able to mute this and list. Okay, boom. That's what I want to show you. So yeah, so these are highlights from the Dream Loud Day Festival here in Chicago. And I put this on by myself as a visionary. Now, of course, I had help the day of and everything, but this happened last month, and it took me a minute to get around to throwing y'all all the highlights and the features and all of that kind of stuff from the event. But it was a really amazing day. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on. We had vendors, we had an open mic section, we had live performances, we had comedy, we had speed dating also, and I did a headline performance with my band as well. So yeah, it was a really amazing experience, and I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that to kind of let y'all know how it came to be. And it's a reason why I'm talking about it, not just because I want to like promote it or whatever, but you know, it had a lot going on, a lot of elements that I want to kind of talk to you all about, because I feel like in some ways, there's a lot of takeaways, and I just wanted to share. I didn't want to keep that to myself. A few things that I can say. This event was an idea that I've had for many, many years, but just never knew how to do it or how I was going to do it, or just thinking that it wasn't going to happen until I did, had like a huge budget and all of this kind of stuff. So yes, it was speed dating. So that little clip that just played was some clips from the speed dating segment. Yeah, we had a lot going on. It was very active. We got a lot of things in a short amount of time. So it was really, really cool. So I'll let that, maybe it might loop so y'all can see it again, to kind of catch some of the highlights while I'm talking. But yeah, so this was an idea that I had for years, because, with me being a full-time music artist, performing all the time, festivals are kind of a big deal because you get exposed to a lot of big audiences that you may not otherwise be able to reach. And so when summertime rolls around, especially in Chicago, it's about like trying to get, before the summertime comes, you're reaching out to all of these promoters and trying to submit your stuff to get into festivals and all of that, because that's like the ideal gig to have over the summertime, to be able to do a festival. So, that's something that I do because I do music full time. I'm a full-time independent music artist. So one of the things that I spend my days doing is reaching out to different promoters, venue owners, and all that kind of stuff to see, what may fit, where I could place myself for different times of the year outside of me doing my own events and stuff like that. So, festivals are just very hard to get into because, there's only so many slots. And then you have like your super duper mainstream artists that are being promoted. Let me try to run that again for y'all. For a second. Hold on. I'm coming back. Okay. So yeah, so you have a lot of your mainstream big name artists, signed record label kind of artists. And so sometimes they make room for independent artists and that sort of thing, but there's only so many. And, nowadays we have the whole streaming and followers and these numbers game. So it's hard to get in the door if you don't have a certain amount of numbers and all that kind of stuff. So thinking about all of that stuff and knowing that I myself, along with a lot of other artists that I know, do this, like do it well. They work really, really hard and they put themselves out there. But just because of, just the semantics and the red tape, it's just hard to get these kinds of opportunities. So my thought was I want to be able to create something where artists that I know that are amazing can be highlighted and shown and have that whole festival experience and be able to, put their name in that space and that kind of thing. So that was something that was really, really important for me to want to do. And on top of that, I go to events just on a regular, just when I'm not performing, and they're just different things that I wish I saw more of. If I could get up and go to an event, there's certain things I wish I could go to, but they don't, it's like they don't exist. Like, oh man, I would like to go to a certain kind of an open mic, or I would like to be in a space where I can patronize certain types of businesses or see certain artists perform, or, like a speed dating event and all that kind of stuff. So I think about these things just on my own. So I was like, I would like to put this all in a day and just kind of see how it happens. So what I did was I came across a venue, the amazing space, the Southside Sanctuary in Chicago. It's an outdoor space that was put together in 2024. So they're just kind of getting up and running with different kinds of events. And I went and saw it because, it's like it's summertime. I want to do an outdoor event. And then when I got there and I saw the space, I'm like, you know what? It's giving festival. So let me try to, do something here. Like it's not a huge space. It's not a tiny space. So maybe this is something that I can make work out. So, put the plan together and just start thinking through how to get it done. And, once I did that, I put all the little pieces in place and said, okay, let's do it. So I contacted the artist and reached out to different people that I connect with on a regular, just being an artist, people that I've worked with, venues that I performed at, and just try to share the vision with them and give them, the details of what I was trying to do so that they could jump on board, possibly help, get the word out and all of that kind of stuff. So I had a few sponsors that came through and a few donors and, people that just reached out and, shared their time, whatever they had to kind of help me get the vision out. So that was a really big deal to be able to do that. And yeah, so planning everything. And one thing I put up the other day, I guess I could show y'all that too, since that was over. I did put up a post about how the work happens. Cause like you come to the event and you're like, oh, this is amazing. It's all of this and it's all of that. But it's like, y'all have no idea how much I was stressed out, like moments before you got here, trying to figure out all the things and trying to see how to do and, setting up everything. So one thing about me as an artist, I do the music, I do the writing, I do the performing. Yes. But also because I'm an independent artist, there's a budgeting thing. So you don't always have the income to pay for the things that you need. And instead of me just saying, well, I don't have the funds for it to pay a staff or to pay someone to do this thing, so I can't do it. A lot of times I figure out like, okay, how can I get this done? Or what kind of ways can I make this happen? Maybe for a lesser amount, or what can I do myself? What do I have the skill set to handle myself? So that became a part of it as well. And just start thinking on my feet, like, okay, let's see how to get this done. Let's see how to make these pieces come together. So like I said, you come to the show and you see the show and you love the show, which is great. That's the point. But you have no idea like what happened or how we got to that point of actually being able to make this show happen. So I'm going to show y'all a clip. Y'all might've seen this online already, but I'm going to show you a clip of like the day before, and how, I'm not the day before, the day of, and how we had to, get everything together on the fly in the moment. So
I hope to see you again real soon. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got myself into this situation.
So I'm muted for a second. It's just music playing in the background, so I can kind of talk through it. But yeah, so this is me looking crazy, sweating hot, setting up stages and plugging stuff in and loading stuff out of trucks and all of that kind of stuff. And I had to put the word out to, just kind of get some help, talk to some people in my life to see who may be available to help me, set up stuff and all of that kind of stuff. So that was a big part of it. Hold on, my battery on my phone, my thing about to die. Hold on. Okay, cool. So yeah, so getting everything set up and putting all the pieces together and doing all of these things in the moment. So it wasn't just about, just show up to the show and be cute and, practice your vocals and do the show. I very much had to set up all of this stuff, along with some amazing friends and teammates that helped me put the pieces together and all of that stuff. So it was a task and it was a lot of work. And that's not even counting the things that happened leading up to the event. So all of the things that happen prior to with, funding falling through or needing to find funds to do this and, having to, I had to like change my whole arrangement, like with the sound system. And I was like scrambling, trying to find sound. Shout out to Mike Gallagher, who helped me tremendously because I was at one point like days before with no sound and no plan for sound. And he came through in the clutch and helped me. And a lot of people helped. I don't know if Nate is still in the chat, but he pulled up and helped as a donor. A bunch of other people, a long list. I'll probably post them because there's a lot of people that just kind of show love just because of knowing how I am. And like, if I come out with an idea, my goal is to do it with excellency. And, so people believe in that enough to like help support. So that was a major part of it. So being able to help get funding. And on top of that, please know, having to just fund stuff myself, things that came up and it's like, okay, we got to figure out how to get these resources to make this thing happen. So putting all those things together, it's a lot day to day. I think I probably spent maybe 3 months putting this event together from the moment I had it like locked in. It took me 3 months to like plan it out and actually execute it. So it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but it was a labor of love for sure. And like I said, stuff happens in the meantime going wrong, like, having to swap out musicians because schedules got changed and it flipped and, all of that kind of stuff and having to do setting up rehearsals to actually work on my set specifically. So all of that stuff. But what I wanted to and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this stream was to kind of talk about the process itself. And once again, if you all are just joining in and you jumping in and out, keep in mind, no matter where you're watching me from, there is a group of people from different apps. So if you're like only one or two people in one app, that doesn't mean you're by yourself or that nobody's watching. Like we're just in a lot of different apps at the moment. So say what's up in the chat wherever you are, and I can see them here. It's a bunch of people. It looks like most people are on YouTube right now. And then on the other stuff. B Snow Official, what up, man? How you doing, broski? So yeah, I wanted to have this this moment and have this episode because if you're not familiar with my podcast, the Creative and Process Podcast is just where I come and share. It's not about like sharing the tips of how to do this or how to make your song go viral. It's not that kind of stuff. I've been doing music now for almost professionally for about 20 years now, believe it or not, and I've learned a lot of stuff along the way, and I'm grateful for like the skills and the things that I know how to do, like on the level of like performance and business and all that kind of stuff, which is wonderful and is necessary. But ultimately, my purpose in what I do and how I give back is to share how to like really break through from the purpose stage, from the purpose part of it, because you can come up and you can do a great performance and all that kind of stuff. But if you're not clear on what you're doing or why you're doing it, and if you're not able to present yourself a certain way that's meaningful, in my opinion, then it's kind of like it doesn't matter like how great you are or whatever. So with my podcast and just how I kind of move as an artist, I always like to share those inner things, like those deeper thoughts, those deeper reflections, because I feel like a lot of a lot of times we miss that because the focus is on like, oh man, how did you get this done, or this connection, or how you do that, and all that kind of stuff. And while all that stuff is cool, and it's helpful to know this kind of stuff, if you don't have the confidence, if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have the ambition, the drive, if you don't have those things, then it's kind of null and void when it comes to like really doing something that's sustainable, that's long lasting. Because in this business, this industry, things are going to fall short. Things are going to work out. They're not going to work out. And so no matter how talented you are, there's some things that have to sustain you beyond what you can do, that's able to, hold you up in those moments when you don't have it all together, when the money is short, when the opportunities aren't there, like something else has to ground you. And so I like to speak to those things because I don't feel like there's enough conversation about that kind of stuff. And when I was coming up, like first starting out, that's one of the things that was hard for me. And I didn't really have a lot of places to go to kind of get that encouragement. So with me doing this event, it really showed me a lot in a lot of ways. So one, it showed me that, having an idea, having a dream, having a vision, we all have them. And it doesn't matter who you are or what level or what status you think you're on or all of that kind of stuff. Like, you can do things. Now, I am a woman of faith, and I believe very firmly on believing what God put in me. And just a thought of a scripture that comes to mind is like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, meaning that you can do, there's no limit to the things that you can do. So a lot of times we think of an idea and we just think like it's just way too big, but it's like you thought that for a reason. The idea came for a reason. So maybe you have to figure out what timing is for, or like specifically how to get it done. But don't ever like dismiss an idea because you think it's too big or you think it can't be done and all that kind of stuff. And of course, like with me doing the festival, stuff happened, stuff worked, stuff didn't work, and all of that kind of stuff. But ultimately, the vision got out. So it was more important to me to like try my very best to do it in excellence and, go about it a certain way and all of that kind of stuff. But then from that point, like really, taking time to like just try. And a lot of times I think we stop ourselves because the try is kind of scary, because it's like, well, it may not work out and this may happen, this may go wrong. But it's like, you can actually try and fail. That's one thing about me that I can say. Like, I don't know how everyone else's thought process is, but I'm going to try and I'm going to fail, and I'm going to try something else and I might fail that, but I'm going to keep trying, because you don't know what you're supposed to do or what you're not supposed to do if you never even try it out. So that's just one thing that I'm very serious about. And if y'all feeling me, like, because I have a tendency, I love to talk. I love to communicate. So I always want to know if I'm over communicating or if I'm talking too fast, because that's something that I try to work on too, because just with me being a singer and a writer, sometimes my cadence is kind of like, it kind of goes. So if y'all still with me, I see y'all still here, but if y'all still with me, if you feeling, what I'm talking about, or you can agree and all that kind of stuff, please feel free to say something in the chat. I can still see it over here on this side, but yes. So that was one thing that was big for me that I learned. And then also, honestly, and I'm not going to hold you, and because we're in this space, and whoever came on to this live or is going to watch the podcast episode later, like, we keep it real 100 over here. One thing that I learned that I kind of knew, but it's like, dang, to see it in real life, it's just kind of like, dang, I'm kind of mad I'm right about that. But unfortunately, no matter what you do, no matter how well you try to do it, no matter how you stretch yourself out and try to be open and, whatever the case may be, some people, even those that are close to you or that know you well and they know your heart and your intention and how you move, some people just do not want to see you do well. And it's so weird to me, because for me, my thought process is there's room for everybody to get what's for them. Like, there's nothing that I can do. I don't care if I got money, power, whatever. There's nothing that I can do to be you or to do your thing or do what's supposed to be for you. Even if I try to like take an idea or something like that, it'll never hit the way it's supposed to hit when it comes from you. So I don't really get into the space of like, trying to step on people's toes or whatever. Or if I see someone doing something, I understand that that came from an idea, that came from a vision. That's a position where you had to really stand out and walk some stuff out in faith and all that stuff. So I would never, or I try my best not to ever feel any kind of way about someone doing what they feel really, really led to do. And so one of the things that I did experience, because again, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. Now, I do production management. So like when there are events happening, sometimes I get hired out to kind of like run the stage, but that's not my event. I put on my own events, like where it's just me performing, so I've like rented out venues and stuff like that. But this is the first time that I put together an entire experience that is like multi-level. Like I said, we had speed dating, we had vendors, we had an open mic, we had feature performance, we had a DJ, shout out to DJ Indulgence. And, we had activations, like different activities that you can do, like while you're walking around the space and all of that kind of stuff. So that was my first time putting all of that stuff together. And it was just kind of inspired from the different events that I've done, where I've seen certain stuff happen at this event or that event. And then I'm just, okay, let's put it all in one place together. So, yeah, going back to that point of like, it's really crazy to me how people, no matter how much you come from like a place of like love and really just wanting to like do something from, with the full intention and purpose in your heart, and people will still kind of downplay it, or they'll go out their way not to acknowledge it and all that kind of stuff. Now, it doesn't matter what people do or say in those moments, but, we're human. And so it does affect you. You know what I'm saying? Like it can hurt, it can sting, but you keep going. Like, obviously you don't take those moments and then, go cry and ball up in the corner and just say, forget it, I'm not doing nothing because so-and-so is not supportive or whatever. Like, no. But it just kind of, it brings awareness so that you kind of know who really, kind of has your back in some ways. And then also it just helps you to like stay focused on like what the purpose is, because the purpose is not this person or that person being there. The purpose is, getting the vision out. So in counter to that, I can say that I was blown away by people who I didn't even know that the event reached, like, me doing the work to try to put the word out. People that showed up, not just from physically attending, but like people who wanted to support, who wanted to donate, who asked how they could help and how they could be a part. Like, that was amazing to me to see that people saw something in me, knowing that if I'm doing something, then it must mean something, worth looking into. And like people, just the outpouring of like people reaching out to me and just showing their love, and just, even if they couldn't be there, just saying how like excited they are for me to be able to do something like this. And, just sending their love and their encouragements and all of that. I'm just looking at the chat. Some stuff's popping up. I don't know when that popped up, but thank you, Kafira. I think doing this organically is truly amazing. Yeah. So yeah, it was a big deal. But like I said, the outpouring of love. And so one thing I took away from that, like for everyone that is against you, there is so many more for you. And I'm learning day by day to like really set my gaze on the people that want it. And that's in every area of my life. That's music, that's friends, family, relationships, connections, whatever it is. Like, go in the direction of those whose arms are open. Don't try to force yourself on people that are resistant to you. Like, just be who you are, and they'll come around if they're going to come around. But ultimately, like, focus on the ones that are really feeding and not starving you. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I learned in a major way. Also, so I guess really I just wanted to get on here, talk about the event. I'm probably going to put out, like, if you go on my YouTube, there's some other clips floating around and all that kind of stuff that you can see. you can see more of the highlights and that kind of thing. Because again, like this is a huge deal for me. So another thing I think that we do as creatives, and maybe even if you're not an artistic person, maybe you do this with your business or whatever other aspirations you have. Sometimes we just think we talk about it once and then we move on to the next thing. But I've learned to like, I'm gonna wear y'all out with the things, because I know what it took for me to get certain things done. You know, if I have a song out, y'all gonna hear about this song until I don't feel like talking about it anymore. Like I'm gonna continue to, put it out there like it just came out, because it took a whole lot to get it done. And I think sometimes in this social media world, we're just like, you got to put something out, hope it goes viral, and then you got to move on to the next thing and do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But it's like sometimes you just step back and savor and sit in the fact that you accomplished this thing because it came from an idea, it came from a dream, came from vision, and then you just kind of let that thing grow and flow from there. So I think it's important to take some time and sit with stuff and not just, keep dropping and dropping. Like, yeah, your mainstream multi-mega superstar artist can do that, but as a independent artist and just a person that, when you love what you do, you want to nurture those things, and you can do other things at the same time, but just don't drop what you've done just because you feel like people are over it because you've already said it. And I think that's one of the issues with social media now. It's like stuff goes out and then it's gone, and then we don't ever talk about it again. But it's like, no, this cost me a lot of money, a lot of time, energy, blood, sweat, tears. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to keep talking about it. So just be advised. If I feel like, dropping back in and talking about it some more, I will, because I also want people to feel encouraged to do hard things, to do things that are challenging, to do things that are outside of their comfort zone, because you can do it. And like I said, this event took a lot out of me, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Okay. It took a lot out of me, but I'm grateful that I got it done. And one of the best compliments that I got from so many people, which was very interesting, like not even people that were standing next to each other, like this person over here said it, that person said it, and this person said it. Everyone that came up to me, one of the main things people were saying was like, while we were at the event, like, I just love the way I feel here, like the atmosphere, the environment, it feels so like freeing, and I just feel so like at ease, and I just love the, just the whole vibe of the night and all of that kind of stuff. And so that was the icing on the cake for me. And that's when I knew, like, okay, this is something special, because to be able to think something and have if I could have had any takeaway from it, that's what I would want people to take away, the feeling, so that if I ever did this again, they'll remember, like, I can't remember the artist's name that performed here and there and there, or that, this and that, but I remember feeling so good when I was there. And so I'm hoping that is a motivator to get people to want to come back and to want to experience it again, and all that kind of stuff. So while I'm grateful for the event itself, I think the bigger thing was for me to talk about the experience to kind of help encourage you out there, dear creative, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, to be able to share that encouragement with you, that you can do something no matter what level you are in your gifting and your craft. Like, obviously, don't do something that is like maybe not be the right time, or like don't take out your whole life savings to do an event because you're like, I'm a creative, I gotta, I can do it. Be smart, be wise, count up the cost, think it through, be rational, but try, even if you're trying on a smaller scale, and then it can grow from there. So like always, stay in that space of wanting to like challenge yourself to do those things that seem impossible, because they're not. You just have to think it through and be wise about how you approach it and that kind of thing. So even if you all were there, and you all attended, let me know. And yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. If you're in the chat and you did attend, let me know your thoughts. Once again, we're live on different streams. I'm almost done now. So yeah, you're not the only ones on the live. There are people on different apps, but they're all seeing this at one time. So yeah, that was the Dream Loud Day Fest. And overall, it was an amazing experience that I felt the need to continue to talk about. So that's why I spent the week sharing highlights from it and, telling people about it and that kind of thing. Karen, hi. Hello. So yeah, so overall, that's what I wanted to share with you all tonight to kind of give that recap. I don't know if anybody has any questions, thoughts, comments, if you were there, or even if you saw like some highlights online. I think I'll kind of end out with just showing maybe the clips one more time so y'all can see some of the stuff that took place there. And that's the main overall view of the festival that I'm running right now. So yeah, and again, if you're watching a replay and you're watching it, because I am going to put this on, this is a part of the podcast. So I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you're like, I can't see what you're talking about because you're just listening to it. Then you can come on YouTube and watch the actual episode and you can see the clips that I'm talking about. But I don't feel like editing this very much. I might do a little tweak here and there. But I want to be able to share this experience with you all kind of on the raw and the real. So I want to make sure I counted all of the points. So we talked about, just the idea phase. And then we talked about like the things going wrong. Now, granted, so much more went wrong and a lot of things went right too. But I ain't going to dig super deep into that. Just know like lose the sleep. And on top of that, like, I do visual branding too. So whenever you see anything online of mine, more than likely I did it, whether it's editing of a video or posting a flyer, like I designed it, that kind of thing. It's not even a brag. If I'm honest, it is not my favorite thing to do because it takes so many hours and it's very hard to step outside and not be extra critical of your own stuff. But that's a skill that I picked up as a result of not having the financial resources to always have to be able to pay someone to do it. And also like being in a space where, it needed to get done in a certain time and that sort of thing. So I don't love doing it, but it's something that I do. I'm grateful that my brain can figure that out. It's a gift, I guess. I'm grateful. But yeah, a lot of late nights, sleepless nights, editing, designing, planning, decorating, all that kind of stuff. So I will round up and say, I'm super grateful for everybody that came through and helped with the just like day of helping out. I put out a post on Facebook because I'm like, I was looking through everything. I'm like, you know what? I need a lot more help than I thought, So outside of people that were already planning to come and help out, I need some more help. So I put out a post on Facebook on my personal Facebook page and just asked like, hey, is anybody available today to do this and that? And then a bunch of people was like, yes, I'll come through. I'll help. So it was amazing. So we had a whole team there to kind of get us in, get us out. Everything went amazingly. A lot of people from the surrounding community came in and experienced the event. So it was just top tier, and shout out to all of the performers. The featured performers was Tone, who also was a sponsor as well. So she, sold into the vision as well. LBJ performed, Price performed, I headlined, and then we had our open mic segment. So shout out to Lamar Davis, comedian who hosted that. Victoria Jimbe performed, Zion Ali, AKA AJ, and Steph Star performed. It was great. Like, a very mixed group of performers and all of that kind of stuff. So it was super duper dope. I'm gonna run that one more time just so we can close out. But yeah, so that was the event. And like I said, it was a lot of people to thank. I don't want to start thanking people, other like sponsors and stuff, because I think I'm going to forget somebody and that's going to make me sad because it's going to be live forever or online forever. But I'll post some other like thank yous and stuff like that. So stay connected. And if you're on YouTube right now watching, hit that that like button, subscribe to the page because we're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. That's my goal for the end of the year so that I can continue to move forward and try to get to a point of like, monetizing my work, because I do a lot of content and editing, but it's not bringing in resource right now. But yeah, so that's all with that. And we're rounding up again. We all on different platforms, so you're not alone wherever you're watching from right now. But I wanted to share that tell y'all the story of how it came to be. I think that's kind of everything that I wanted to cover. But overall, I just want to give you the encouragement to like try hard things. Like, don't let the vision go to waste, because it came to you for a reason. It came to you for a reason. I promise it's for a reason. So be smart about it. Think it through, plan, all that kind of stuff. Take your time, but don't let it die just because it came to you and you feel like it's too big. That's one of the bigger things that I wanted to say. Other than that, if y'all got anything else to say in the chat, shout it out. Let me know. Okay. Miss Hollins in the chat is saying it was a great experience to see different talents and watching everyone work together. Awesome. Actually, yes, it was. And shout out to you, because she helped with food too. So yeah, the overall experience was amazing, and I just wanted y'all to have that. As far as like some quick updates, I am going to try to get back to the podcast. I owe you all another episode, but because it's still growing, I'm okay with not doing an episode super frequently, because I do really want y'all to go back and see what's there. The last episode that we had was with Ariel Marie, who is a licensed therapist to creatives. It was an amazing episode. Please go back and watch that, because I do have a part 2 to that one that I need to get to and get out to you all soon. But check that out. She was actually, yes, that's who I was going to thank. So Ariel Marie, Esther Calloway, and Neek were panelists. We had a panel discussion. That's what I meant to say earlier as far as everything that happened during the event. We had a panel discussion for creatives during the event too. So yeah, I put everything I could think of, put into this event. So yeah, it was just like a power packed day of stuff. And I hope to be able to do it again. We'll see how that goes. I got to think that through and make it make sense for me. But yeah, that was the Dream Loud Day Fest. Like I said, I'm going to try to get back to the podcast soon. As far as those who have been reaching out, asking about upcoming shows, you can go to the link in my bio or go to nealand.com, and there you can get information on upcoming shows, and you can follow my tour schedule so you'll get alerted. We're going into the end of the year, so I have some stuff coming up soon, so y'all can stay connected to that as well. And like I said, go back and watch other episodes of the podcast, or you can listen on any podcast app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast, YouTube, to watch the visual of the podcast. And yeah, I think that's all I got, unless y'all have any questions or comments or anything to end. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I just wanted to make sure I came up and did this live and got it out to you. And I'm going to add this to my podcast and all that stuff. If you have any other comments or whatever, drop them, and then I'm going to check them and I'm going to go back and comment on it as well. I think I'll leave this up on everything, I guess. And then probably edit for YouTube. But yeah, that's all I have. Moral of the story: dream big. It's bigger than you. Your visions are bigger than you. Trust God and go. You know what I'm saying? And thank you to everybody that supported, everybody that donated and helped to make this vision happen, and then just sent their love and support and all that kind of stuff. And y'all keep me lifted. I need your support and your prayers continuously for everything that I'm trying to do, navigating, this whole music space, and all the different changes that are happening in the industry and all that stuff. So stay tuned. There's more to come. I have a lot more to say, but I just wanted to pop in and have this conversation with y'all. And I hope that it's encouraging and inspiring and all of that wonderful stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you all on the next thing that I got going on. So you all can probably watch this replay on Instagram. This is my first time doing the Instagram this way, so hopefully it came through the right way for those that are watching there. And yeah, I will holler at y'all later. Thank y'all. God bless and peace out. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you want to learn more about the podcast, you can go to creativeinprocess.com, where you can sign up for email alerts, connect on social media, and submit your feedback, thoughts, and questions to have them included in a future episode. If you want to connect with me directly, you can find me at Nealand Music on all social media platforms. And please like, comment, share, subscribe, tell somebody about this podcast, because it only goes as far as you help it grow. I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.